famous as you.
I'm gonna be really honest with you right away in this vlog. I already recorded this video and I thought I did a pretty good job, but my phone, I'm now recording on my camera. Before I was recording on my phone and it stopped recording partway through. So that was lovely. Didn't realize it, finished the whole 30-minute video, and then I realized I did not get the footage. So that's number one. If I seem a little bit annoyed, that's why. Hopefully I won't though. Number two, you could probably already tell, I am very breathy in this video, and I'm going to try to not have that be very distracting, but I am 3 months pregnant, and for some reason, when I try to talk with enthusiasm on camera, all the breath I start losing breath, and it's as if I went on a run. So I apologize if I'm very breathy or annoyed or whatever it may be. I'm going to try to keep that out of this video, but if you see it, that is why. So today is Vlogmas Day 15. Like I said, I'm super excited. We are like more than halfway through Vlogmas now. But today, instead of doing a daily vlog like I have done for every other day of Vlogmas and plan on continuing to do for the rest of Vlogmas, I wanted to talk about something that I have been working on recently and that is kind of holiday themed. I thought it was the perfect time to mention it because it is something that you can use for gift giving over the holidays. So let's just get into it. What I want to talk about, you probably do know from the title, but it is Amazon KDP and creating a planner through Amazon KDP and publishing it. What I want to do with this video is firstly tell you what it is like to be a new seller on Amazon KDP, because I feel like a lot of the videos that you will watch on this topic are people that have a lot of experience being very successful with Amazon KDP, and therefore their perspective is a little bit different, and they don't really get into the nitty-gritty details that you really want to know when you start doing Amazon KDP. There's quite a few things that bothered me or set me back at the beginning of trying to publish a book through Amazon KDP. And I just want to be honest and straightforward with you and let you know what those things are, so that when you go into making your first book through Amazon KDP, if you haven't already, you kind of know what to expect a little more than I felt like I did. And then after that, I want to take a moment to show you the product that I created, because it is holiday related and it could potentially help you with your gift giving this year, kind of take the stress away and all of that. So first we'll talk about KDP, and then we'll talk about the planner that I personally created for the holidays. So the first thing that I want to talk about as far as creating a book for Amazon KDP, a lot of the people on YouTube that talk about Amazon KDP and creating books for it are going to tell you to use some sort of online publication website where either you can just create your books on there, or some of them also are very specifically made for Amazon KDP, and they allow you to search what kind of books you should create, what kind of books are selling on Amazon, and kind of do that market research before you even get started in creating your book. I'm going to be honest, I kind of went against what a lot of the people said, because they all said, do not just create a book because you want to create the book. Make sure you do the research and know that other people want that book on Amazon before you make it, because you might be going too much into a niche for something that only you want, and therefore it will not sell. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I did really much research using the tools available on the website that a couple people mentioned. I'm going to link it below, or at least link what the name of the website is. down below, because I can't remember. Maybe I'll put it right here, but I can't remember what it was called. I did do a free subscription to it so that I could see what it was like and if it's necessary and all that stuff. I just didn't end up using it. In my personal situation, I didn't feel like it was necessary or helpful for me, because the other element of the website that you pay for the monthly access to is that you can create your Amazon KDP book through there, your ebooks through this website. And I have a subscription with Adobe, and Adobe has a product called Adobe InDesign, which comes with my subscription, which I know how to use because I have a design degree. I was an assistant designer. I've worked on creating catalogs. I've worked on journals when I was in college, and we used Adobe InDesign for both of those things. So I already kind of know how to create an outline for a book and all that stuff, and I just didn't feel like learning new software. So I canceled my subscription pretty quickly. This is pretty specific to me. I know a lot of people looking to make an Amazon KDP product probably don't have that same experience or don't already pay over $30 a month for a subscription to Adobe. But if you do already pay for Adobe, you might want to consider not paying for another subscription, because you can use Adobe InDesign. And I was able to create my book within 2 days on Adobe InDesign. Yes, I did have a little bit of knowledge, but I hadn't used it in quite a long time, and it was still really straightforward, and I felt like really easy to use, and I really liked how my book turned out. So it's definitely something to consider. Again, yeah, I'm like catching myself, getting caught up on my own breath. I'm sorry about that. Now, going back to the market research element of things that a lot of the YouTubers mentioned that websites such as the one I mentioned are great for. Again, I didn't really take advantage of that when I did have the subscription. I ended up just searching my idea on Amazon and seeing what came up and what was selling and stuff like that. And then I kind of, from there, seeing how my book could be searchable with these books, but also offering something a little bit different, a little bit better possibly. And so that's how I went about my market research. I kind of just used Amazon search bars, but honestly, that is probably not the best way, and those tools might be really, really helpful. I just didn't take advantage of them. Now, something that I came up against that I learned from these YouTube videos that I found really frustrating is the idea of a medium content book. Over and over again, especially if you are watching more up-to-date videos on Amazon KDP, people will mention that low content books are no longer a good market to get into on Amazon, and you should be shooting for medium content books. And they have a few reasons for that, and I want to share that with you, but then I want to kind of get into my problem with this. So, low content books, if you don't know, are going to be like your journals, notebooks that have lines or don't have lines, or planners. And a medium content book, from what these YouTubers say, are going to be things like activity books, coloring books, kids books. So things that the pages are all different, they're unique. Each page is unique, but it's still a simplified book so that you don't have to write out every word in the book. Here's my problem. So the product I created is a planner, but it also has a lot of unique pages, including written text. So I thought that I might be able to get away with this being considered a medium content book because I went out of my way to make sure that almost all the pages are unique. There's only a couple types of pages that get repeated over and over in the book, but there's also a ton of pages that are completely unique. So, does that qualify me to be a medium content book? This is what you need to know. 1, when you go to publish your book on Amazon, there is no section that says medium content book. There's just one option that says, is your book a low content book? So me thinking that I might have been able to get around this and have a medium content book, I did not originally check this box. I wanted my book to not be considered a medium content book. And the reason for that is, one, because there is this little barcode that they put on the back of your book. If it's a high content book, or like there's no high content book, it's just considered a regular book, something that's all original pages, and then it will get qualified for a barcode at the bottom, a specific type of barcode that can be used not just on Amazon, but also you could take this book and you could put it in a bookstore and that barcode would still work. I'm gonna put over here at the bottom somewhere what that barcode is called, because this book does have a barcode on it, but this was considered a low content book, so I believe this barcode is only good for tracking through Amazon, whereas the other one, like I said, is just overall your book has that special barcode that can be used anywhere, and it has a specific name, so I'll put it right here. If you aren't creating a low content book, if you're creating any other type of book, Amazon will give you that barcode for free. Amazon used to give everyone this barcode for free, but over the last few years, with the boom in low content books, it has stopped providing it for low content books. I figured that's not really big deal for me because I don't plan on taking this book and trying to sell it anywhere else. But, big but, there was an element of it being considered a low content book that I was not hyped about, and therefore wanted my book to not be considered low content. And that is that if it's considered a low content book, there's no look inside option. So on the left hand side of your product page when you are selling on Amazon, there's usually photos when you're selling a product, but when you're selling a book, there's the cover, and then it says look inside at the top, and you can click on it and you can see the interior of the book. This is really important when you're selling something like a planner, because people want to know what kind of planner it is. They kind of want to get a vibe for the planner before they spend their money on it, especially if you're not selling your planner super cheaply. But just in general, I feel like people, want to know what kind of planner it is, how it's divvied up, if it's the same way that they are thinking, the way their brain works, that's going to help them organize things. I think this is totally understandable. If you're considered a low content book, you don't get that look inside option. And this is something I didn't realize. You cannot post any photos in that area. When you are looking at products on Amazon, there's a bunch of different photos there where you can kind of flip through and see different angles of the product. It's not like that when you are posting on Amazon KDP. When you see books that do have different photos, it's because they were published through a publisher or possibly a third-party app, like the website I was mentioning in the beginning. I don't know if that specific website does this, but I did hear a YouTuber say that you could get pictures put over on the side from the interior of the book if you publish through a third-party website rather than publishing directly through Amazon KDP. Only I did not realize that until after I already published my book, so I haven't really done research into what websites would actually allow that and whether you have to pay a subscription every month to continue to have access to that. But that being said, that's just throwing that out there in case you want to research that, because that was pretty frustrating for me to find out after I already put in all the work into my book, and then to realize when I publish it, the only image that people are going to see of my book is this, the cover, which is fine enough, but it doesn't really tell the story of what is going on inside of the book at all. I did try to go about getting images of the interior of my book on that page in a couple different ways. So at first I thought I could publish a review as the seller. Very honestly, I wanted them to know it was me, the seller, posting the review. It wasn't going to be an actual review. It was just going to be, hey, look inside the book. And I created a little slideshow of all the images that I had created on Illustrator to show the interior of my book, but instead I put it in a video form, a little slideshow, and wanted to post that. I did not qualify as being able to post on there as the seller. One, because my seller account, I hadn't bought anything from Amazon under that seller account. And then two, because I found out later when I tried to post it through other people that they themselves had to purchase the book before they could post a review of the book. So I did end up purchasing the book through two different accounts, family accounts, so that I could then take photos of the book and post them as a review, and that's how I got images of the interior of my book onto the seller page or onto the product page. But that was very stressful when I first posted it, because I felt like there's no way anyone is going to buy it until they actually can see pictures of inside the book. Another thing that I want to mention about medium content books, when people are saying you should create a medium content book instead of a low content book, I really don't understand where this term is coming from and what exactly people are talking about, because like I said, there's only an option when you go to publish for, is this a low content book? So there is no option. I want you to really know and understand this. There is no option for medium content books. It's just either you are a low content book or you are medium, or you are a regular book. But how do you qualify to not be considered a low content book? People made it seem like if you created any book with all original pages, you would instantly be considered a regular content book. That is not true, because another obstacle I hit when I was trying to publish my book as a non-low content book is that I had to meet a page requirement. So I don't understand how people are saying a children's book would be considered a regular book and not a low content book, when the page requirement for a non-low content book is it's either 72 or 74 pages. Because I had in the 60s pages, and I had to add about 10 more pages to get past the number of how much I needed to not be a low content book. So, and this is before I knew that I would not qualify to not be a low content book. So I upped my page count. I originally didn't have a budget section in my book, and I added 10 more pages to create that budget section, and I think I added the calendar section as well. So honestly, it made my book better, but at the end of the day, it did not change the fact that a planner, no matter what, no matter how many unique pages, no matter how much text it has in it, is still considered a low content book. But also, I think it's very important to note that you do have to meet a page requirement, which is either 72 to 74 pages. I don't remember the exact number, but that's important for people to know. If you're creating a coloring book or an activity book or a children's book, it has to meet that page requirement, which seems outrageous for a children's book that it would be 72 pages, but to each their own. Now I want to get into my book, which is a gift giving guide and planner, and tell you why I think this could be a great addition to your holiday shopping plans and how it can reduce your stress during the holidays. Also, I want to mention, do not create a holiday book 1 month before the holidays and try to sell it on Amazon with no previous experience or sales history, because obviously, that sounds obvious, but I just wanted to dabble in this, and I had this idea, so I did it. But this book is probably not going to sell until next Christmas, because I just didn't have enough time. I did not pay for advertising yet, which I am going to still try. But yeah, I didn't have enough time or enough work, on my Amazon page to get this book found with only a couple weeks before December. I published this in mid-November. So that being said, timing is key. Definitely give yourself more time if you're creating holiday products. But I feel like also thinking about things like the holidays when you're coming out with products is a great idea, because that makes it a little more searchable. So jumping right into my book and what I did create little bits of art. And most of my artwork that I got for this book, it is all personalized via Illustrator, but the original designs that I got from, did I get it from Pexels? I believe I did. I believe I used the website Pexels, and if that's wrong, I'll put the website that I used right here. But I believe I used Pexels, which is all like free art that you don't have to even credit, and that is a great source. You don't have to be able to draw everything that's in your book. So I just put a little bit of illustration, and then I did 3 blank monthly calendars with a little note section on the side. So in my mind, I would do November, December, and January with all the holiday like parties and important dates that I need to put on here and remember, or all the gift exchanges, just so I don't forget anything. But again, I left the calendars completely blank, so you could edit it however you please. And there is 3 of those pages. Then we're going to get into some of the text. Right here I have do's and don'ts of holiday gift giving. And then you jump right into your budget with a little bit budget how-to. I broke this planner into different categories, so the budget is sectioned off into categories as well. And then you come into a little deeper budget planning. I have each category and lines for each person, so you can create a budget for the whole category and then a budget for each person, because each person in that category might need a little bit different amount of spending, just depending. And then we get into your holiday list. Who do you have to buy for? And when do you have to buy for that person? Because it's not going to be the same for everyone. If you're like me and you celebrate Christmas, that doesn't mean that you have to buy everyone's gift by Christmas. You might have a gift exchange at work at a different time, or gift exchange with friends, or you might be seeing a friend after Christmas. So the dates that you owe these gifts by could be completely different. So I think that's really important to keep track of that on this page, and I love that section the most because I'm honestly so forgetful. And then we go into a little breakdown of the gift ideas for each person. So in each person's section, you can write down what the person's interests are, what are different ideas you have at random times. If you start planning early enough, maybe you get this planner in the beginning of the year and you just keep track of like what your kids are into or what your friends are into throughout the year. So then when it comes time to give on the holiday or around the holidays, you already kind of have an idea for each person of what they're about. And then in this little boxed off section over here, you can write down exactly what you need to buy. And then those pages are repeated for every single I can't breathe. And those pages are repeated for every single category in the book. The categories I went with were favorite people, which basically just means anyone that you want to focus your most attention on. It's like most important that you do not forget these people, and you're probably going to spend the most money or buy the most gifts for those specific people. Then you have the rest of your family members, you have friends, and you have coworkers. And then we are going to get into, there is also a little page about how to make it easy, some rules to gift giving. There's just little like pages of information all throughout the book, scattered throughout. This one about giving gifts at work. So if you had any questions about what is appropriate to do for work, there's a little section on that. And at the end of the book, there is just a few pages of notebook paper. So if I forgot something that would make your life easier as far as tracking your gift giving needs, there's lines at the back so you can do whatever you need to do.
All I really want for Christmas is you.
That is my experience with Amazon KDP publishing my first book and a look inside my first book. If you are interested in it, please check it out down below. The link is in the description. I tried to keep it pretty affordable because honestly, I don't expect anyone to buy it. It's so late in the day. It's almost the holidays. But it does come really quickly if you have Amazon Prime. So give it a look. And I will see you again in my next video. Bye, guys.